right now.
I think. Yeah.
He's like their assistant scouting something. I don't know. But, I mean, we saw it in Washington. That dude is everywhere. I mean, he makes it known that he wants to be seen at the winter meeting. So Littlefield was around. So I'm sure Littlefield will be at all the tables, doing whatever. And he's always in his suit. Anyway, so – but let's kind of go over the winter meetings. I mean, as far as, obviously from a Pirate standpoint, the needs are out there. We've heard some rumblings about possible Cervelli trade, a possible Nova trade. I mean, at this point, we know the needs. Yes, they picked up Eric Gonzalez in a trade. That was kind of more of a, middle infield. Like, I mean, it kind of shored up
the utility.
A need there. They needed somebody that could bounce around and provide. I mean, he does provide a good glove. So the shortstop obviously is a need. Haven't really heard much about second base. Everyone's, it's all shortstop, which makes sense. I mean, you have Frazier, you have Kramer, I guess, if you're going to go that route. But shortstop, maybe a left-handed reliever, or any reliever at that point. Adam Warren. Get Adam Warren. But, I mean, as far as, like, from trading, we heard what? We heard Nick Ahmed was a name that's been, going around.
Yeah.
I mean, are you thinking...
Which would be nice.
You thinking they're going to fill this shortstop position from free agency or the trade? And do you think it'll happen this week?
I don't know. It's so hard to tell because it's a domino effect. I mean, it just depends on other factors. I mean, it's easy to say, go get Ahmed, but if there's other things that you want and you find that trade might be easier to do it than free agency or whatever, you might go through that route. I mean, I guess it just depends. This is why the winter meetings are great. So now everyone's in a whole room. Like you're at the GM meetings. That's where a lot of the foundation seems to be taking place, when you had the winter meetings. Like a lot of talks already done, a lot of frameworks kind of done. So you're heading into the winter meetings now. All the teams are there. You have more talks, discussions. I mean, just like we've said the past few years, you definitely have as well. It's like you don't even see them out anymore. Like they're all in the rooms, wheeling and dealing. Like the winter meetings are like nothing to them anymore. It's just that they're all there on their phones. And
that's what sucks to me. That's what like the last couple of years we went. It kind of got me down because I remember back in Dallas in what was that 05. It was the winter of 05. So like you saw everybody.
Yeah.
You saw the GMs. You saw, Scott Boras. You saw these guys, and they were visible. They were all down there. Now, like you said, everybody kind of hunkers down in their suite. Vegas, I feel like, I don't know, like it's kind of harder to hide in Vegas. Like,
plus it's Vegas. Like the temptations, like
right. Like
let me get outside my room.
Like you think these GMs are hanging out in the room all night
in Orlando, like in the like the hotel.
Yeah,
like, I'm cool.
I'll order room service. Right. I don't need to go anywhere. What am I going to go anyway in the middle of winter in DC? But
now I'm in Vegas.
You're like, well, maybe
I'm going to catch a show.
Maybe Huntington wants to catch the blackjack table at 3 a.m. I mean, who knows? I mean,
right.
There's going to be reporters like hanging out at the casino to see who's like
and on
gambling
top of it,
and
like
stuff.
It's not as if you're in DC and there's one hotel and everyone that's in that hotel is there for the winter meetings. Like you're in Vegas, so you're out and about with. I mean, you could be there with other celebrities from who knows where, too. It's not as if you're it.
That's what I wonder too, because like all the hotels that host it normally years in most cities. They're all kind of, like the bar in that hotel is packed at night.
Right.
There's a lot of people. I mean, we saw Kevin Millar or whatever out at that bar that night. So like everybody's kind of there. Vegas, I feel like people kind of go wherever. Like they're not staying at Mandalay Bay. They could be at Luxor, MGM. Who the hell knows? All the way down the other end of the strip. So it's like
circus.
Well,
riding the Ferris wheel.
I think that's out now. But isn't circus done? That was like one of the last. I mean, that's way down. The Ferris wheel now is that's Flamingo. It's like right out the high roller.
I think circus is still there.
It might be. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was like the next one that was closing, but anyway, no one's going there.
No,
but that's what I mean. Like it could be spread out because a lot of people could, just
there's more to do.
Let's go to a restaurant down at Caesars. So it's interesting. It's interesting, and I don't know if that'll help deals being made or if more stuff will happen. I know a lot of the stuff when we were there. I think last year, like a lot of the stuff happened like towards the end, and then we thought there'd be. Then there was, we thought there'd be like kind of there'd be kind of a fall. Once a couple days after things would start happening, and that free agency just like nothing happened until late. But I mean, I don't know. It's as far as like I don't think the Pirates as far as relievers. I mean, there's so many relievers in the free agent market.
Yeah,
I think it makes more sense for them to pick up a free agent reliever than it would be to just trade for one. At this point.
And the fact that they don't really need like top tier relievers. I mean, that back end is set. No one's out there looking that we have to get some top reliever. So they can go out there and settle for some, mid tier and probably get some good value because that's really what they need. I mean, it would be great to have an Edwin Diaz.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's a need. So I could see like what you're coming from. I could see,
but I'd like to add to the
free
strength.
agency. But I mean, I can't call it like any other position. I mean, Ahmed would be nice, but what's it going to take to get him? What's the risk reward? What could you get there in free agent market? I mean, I don't know. Like what's everyone else's price?
Right. There's a lot of options, but that's like bullpen. Yeah, like you don't need the Edwin Diaz, but like to me, what my thought was add to that strength. But I mean, we'll see. But I'm laughing because the Pirates site, like all these articles that been coming about for the winter meetings, they all like post a picture and it's just Neal Huntington. And it's always like the funniest picture to me because they're going to be like Pirates, look to be creative at winter meetings. And it's just like a picture of Neal Huntington. And then now the one on the site now says Pirates can be patient at the winter meetings. And it's just like Neal in front of a fence, like face. Laughing. And it's like, it cracks so me confused. Up. It cracks me up. So yeah. So who knows what's going on there. But what do you think? What do you make of this? Now we're kind of hearing the Cervelli rumors come about. Now I said it, weeks back when we kind of previewed the offseason.
Yes, you did.
And I said to me it didn't make sense to trade Cervelli. Now, sure, would I love to get rid of $11.5 million or whatever he's making this year? Sure. And if you're going to spend it elsewhere. But to me, like Cervelli, like, and I know the injuries, the concussions, it makes sense if you can for the right deal to get rid of him, and Diaz just slides in, and then you can spend that money elsewhere. I don't know where that money would get spent, but to me, like, what is it, one more year? Because that's the option, or is there two options?
For who?
For Cervelli.
Well, this is it for Cervelli.
That's what I said. So it's like 1 year. Like to me, it's like I think they just keep him at this point, but I don't know.
See, I said at the time, I said what 60-40, I think was my percentage. Like I felt like there's like a 60% chance he's getting traded, because. It's just the mold of the Pirates. I mean, he's a free agent next year. This is his last year. He's the top paid player on the Pirates team this year. Yeah. And he's coming off like you are at a sell high position. I mean, this isn't where Cervelli's giving us 3 WAR every single year. He's just producing. You're like, all right, well, if we keep him, we know what we're gonna get. Let's go into this and just keep him. Try to do it, and if things don't work out, we'll trip at the deadline. This is a guy who you see the talent there, but he's been injured. He's dipped down in production some. He bounced back this year. He had a really good year this year, and it's not like it was surprising. It wasn't truly surprising. But regardless, this was the best year he's had as a Pirate.
Right.
And why not try to capitalize on it? Also because of how good you saw Diaz play this year. Yes, very limited, and of course it was just like this was his breakout year as well. But you saw the production out of him. He's cheap. Cervelli's 11.5. If you can go ahead and get rid of that contract, pray that Diaz does do what continue what he's going to do, even drops off a little bit. You know what I mean? But now you have $10 million to work with, and it does seem so. There's talks about the Red Sox. I could definitely see them as a potential fit. The Astros seem they're still in on a catcher, and the Dodgers, and the Mets.
Because McCann went to the Braves.
Although they got Robinson Chirinos, but they're still saying they still want a catcher. So the thing is too is you're still seeing a market, Ryan. The Mets want a catcher, the Dodgers want a catcher, Houston wants a catcher, and Boston. And the thing is those are big markets. Those are teams that will trade. You know what I mean? So,
the Dodgers don't like giving up prospects.
It's actually working in the favor for the Pirates. We're seeing it, and let's test the market.
And the free agent market for catchers isn't great. I mean, there's Buster Posey ain't out there or something.
No, but Grandal's out there. Wilson Ramos is out there.
Oh, he's a free agent. I didn't know that. Yep. Okay.
Kurt Suzuki's out there. So, I mean, there is some talent. But
to me, with Cervelli, like you said, he's missed. He had a bounce back year. He was great. He still missed some time. He's still at, the concussions and everything. To me, at $11.5 million, if he's going to end up missing 50, 60 games, I mean, that's a huge blow.
Right.
Second is if you start playing him at first base, which you really can't, you can't the majority of the time because you have Bell. But if you are, like, Cervelli's value is at the catcher position. That offensive value that he adds at the catcher position, what he adds, working with the pitchers and everything, like, you put him at first base, sure, the on-base percentage is great, but that just doesn't, like, really play there. So it's kind of like, and then where does Bell go at that point anyway?
Construction, of course, But
if you didn't have a first baseman, which say what you will about Bell, but if you didn't have a first baseman at all, then yeah, it would make sense to put him there. But you do, so he's not going to play the majority of games there, and it's just the production from over there, like offensively, just doesn't make sense. So. Yeah. I mean, I get it from a health standpoint.
And also, like, I think that's why Boston could be a really good fit. Because he could DH, and if he is playing first, he could play first base too. Because Steve Pearce was their first baseman last year.
MVP.
Well, I know he's MVP, but like
MVP.
there is a spot for him to play to get those at bats and not catch every day.
You know what? We made fun of the Matt Joyce and Chisenhall.
Yeah,
they're probably like, dude, look at Steve Pearce.
Yeah,
the guy won World Series MVP. Right. I want that incentive in there because Pearce didn't have one. He should have signed. That's a bad move by his agent.
Oh, he didn't have one. Damn it, Steve Pearce.
What the heck are you doing?
Come on, man.
So, that's just it's weird to me. So, if Cervelli does get traded, we're going to hear, oh, it's the cheap Pirates. But I get it from the standpoint of the injuries, the contract to if he misses games, which he's probably going to because he has the past 2-3 years.
I mean, but let's put it this way: he will miss games. The big thing is, how many games is he going to miss? And in the time that he is here, how productive is he? That's what really matters. I mean, when you look at his stats, when you look at his numbers, if he's playing 100 games next year, that sounds about right. But you're missing 62.
I know.
So in those 100 games, how valuable and how productive are you? I wouldn't be shocked, Ryan, if he's not as valuable. It's just odd seeing a guy break out at age 32. That's probably not sustainable, It's like
I wouldn't say it was a breakout, but it was. He bounced back in a big way, and it was one of his better seasons.
Power came back.
Yeah,
it came back.
But the on base was always there. But
yeah, I mean it was, but the production was just there altogether.
I think he'll get traded to the Astros, and then they'll lead him off. And he'll be like amazing.
Oh my God! Finally,
he'll have like an on-base percentage of 400, and I'll just be like, "Why do the Astros do everything right?"
We've been advocating from the leadoff for how many years?
Right.
The Astros get him, and he does it.
They'll be like,
and then he'll become like a 6-war player.
Because didn't they have like George Springer and stuff leading off? So I mean, it's like the Astros would do that. I just to me, I don't worry about Diaz's bat as much as I did going into last year, and I don't worry about. I mean, obviously, we know his arm, we know the glove. I worry about his selection, working with pitchers, the pitch selection, all that. That's where I think you get a downgrade from Cervelli. So Cervelli's not the long term answer, obviously. Diaz is. So, I don't know. If you're going into this season saying Diaz and Cervelli are going to have a 50-50 split behind the plate, then maybe it does make sense to trade. It does kind of make sense to trade Cervelli. If it makes sense. Like, I don't want to trade Cervelli for like a single-A pitcher. That's where I think people are going to see it as, okay, we just did it to dump salary. And it's kind of hard to even defend that at that point. But if you pick up a bullpen piece or somebody in AAA, a higher prospect, not like a top 100, but you pick up somebody who's on the cusp in the majors and he's actually a decent prospect that could maybe contribute this year, maybe like somebody at shortstop or second base that you could throw in the mix with Newman and Kramer, maybe that. But trading him for like a Venezuelan pitcher like we saw from the Luplo deal, that just wouldn't make sense to me. And that's where I would understand when people say, oh, they just dumped the salary.
Okay. Now that I can certainly understand. I mean, right. If you're talking about, because when you say single A pitcher,
I mean, right. Everybody at one point was a single A pitcher.
Right. So when you talk about single A and like on the cusp of your top 30 prospects, like that's one thing. But it's like names that I've been hearing, like Darwinzon Hernandez is one that the Pirates, were interested in.
This is from what team?
The Red Sox.
Oh, okay.
Like he just reached Double A last year, only 6 innings. So like you can kind